How's everyone doing? I'm sure this is how we all wanted to spend our Tuesday evening, talking about land use. Some of us might prefer to be at a movie or on the couch, but this is how we've structured this, so here we are. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak today, and thank you for staff for doing the work to get us here. My name is Stuart Smith. I'm a board member of Abundant Housing Vancouver, and I'm speaking in support of this item. It's an extremely, extremely small step, but it is a step in the right direction. Abundant Housing Vancouver believes housing is a human right and that housing can be affordable to all. To accomplish that, we must consider more than just buildings. We must consider land, and we must consider where that land is located. When affordable housing is illegal on most of our land, it should come as no surprise that our housing is not affordable. When it's illegal to house everyone who wishes to live in a given area of land, it should come as no surprise that housing on that land becomes a luxury good available only to the most wealthy. I think we should be talking about the people who are not here. It's worth remembering that while this hearing is very well attended by people who believe passionately one way or the other, there are another 640,000 residents of Vancouver who did not feel strongly enough about duplexes to give up a night on the couch or to give up a movie on a Tuesday night. We should be wary of assuming that because they chose that movie or they chose the couch, that means they prefer the status quo. It's much more likely that it never occurred to him that duplexes were a big deal, or that one day we would all spend 8 hours talking about duplexes. I would argue that's much more likely. I personally look forward to the day when I can return to that level of engagement over land use, but for the time being, here I am. It's also worth considering the people who aren't here because they left Vancouver and want to come back. Those people are not here with us tonight. They might have an interest in whether or not we allow a tiny little bit more housing in RS. Finally, across Canada, there are people from all walks of life who've heard about our amazing city and wish to join us. It would be a mistake to assume that those voices prefer the status quo, and it would be a mistake to assume that building a wall around our city to keep future friends and neighbors out is the progressive choice. Who can stay? I've lived in Vancouver for 30 years, and I would prefer to stay. But whether I can or cannot is not up to me. It is true of many people in Vancouver, many people here tonight, and maybe some of you on council. Our decision today on whether to end the ban on duplexes across most of the land in the city is not about the land upon which the duplexes will or will not remain banned. It is about the other land in the city. Allowing housing in one area takes pressure off other areas. Prohibiting housing in one area increases the pressure in other areas. Our decision today will determine some of the choices available to thousands of families who want to stay in Vancouver. Choices both of housing type and, importantly, housing location. The choice of location available to those families will ultimately decide if I can stay, if my friends can stay, and perhaps if some of you can stay. If we choose to allow RS to make room, this will take a little bit of pressure off my neighborhood, making redevelopment and eviction a little bit less likely. If we choose to maintain the ban on duplexes and other forms of housing, the pressure on my neighborhood will go up, and the redevelopment and eviction become a bit more likely. Finally, who makes room? We are all connected. All of our housing, all of our land, every lot, every block, every neighborhood, and every city is connected to every other. There is no way to have a land use policy in one lot, one block, one neighborhood that does not affect every single other. The effects of low density zoning do not restrict themselves to the areas that are zoned for low density. Low density zoning is the largest consumer of land in our city and in our region. What's left after it's taken its pound of flesh are small slivers along noisy, polluted arterials and parts of the old city that have been told that they have to make room since 1927. In RS, we banned the high-rise apartment. In RS, we banned the mid-rise apartment. We banned the low-rise apartment. We banned social housing. We banned public housing. We banned backyard cottages. We banned bungalow courts. We banned mobile homes. We banned sixplexes, fiveplexes, fourplexes, threeplexes, and of course, we banned duplexes. We even banned basement suites, but then the federal government told us we needed basement suites to fight the war, and then after the war, we banned them again, and finally, we legalized them, but only by calling them mortgage helpers rather than housing. Banning so much housing across so much of the city has effects that ripple out to every other part of the city. There was a moment earlier where staff talked about the 4 quadrants. I think this is a huge mistake. The people who are most affected by RS zoning are not the people who live in RS. The people affected by RS zoning are the people who live in the West End and the people who live in Fairview and the people who live in Mount Pleasant who've been told to make room for 90 years. If it is not time for Point Grey, Shaughnessy, and Dunbar to make room, when will it be?